Hey, friends. I hope you all are blessed. I hope you missed me because I missed you guys. As you know, I work very hard. I own my own business as well. And so things have just been going, okay? But I am so happy to be back with you on this day. So, you know, when foundational black Americans say that a line should be drawn, uh, you know, between ourselves and the immigrants, or the black immigrants, or all immigrants, we're not trying to create divisive issues or division. We're not trying to say we are better than anybody. What we are doing is standing on a foundation that our ancestors laid out for us because they built America, this country, the United States, that many of the immigrants love so much and love running to from their countries. We're not trying to demoralize anyone or put anyone down from anything, but what we are going to do from this point on is build ourselves. You see, for a long time, and I remember in the 70s as a little girl, my parents and my family talked about and discussed, you know, how they were so happy that black immigrants were coming over to the country, that black Americans had, people that would align with them, and then that did not happen. It didn't happen. And so the people that came over here, in fact, turned out to be very hostile, very demoralizing to black Americans, and very on on term and alignment with white supremacists. And that's just the way it is. That's what happened. That's what occurred, and that's what we had to deal with. And now that the tables are still the same, but they're turning for you people now that Trump has gotten into office, and the Democrats, the liberals, are not in office, giving you all of those set asides and protections. And in fact, now they are deporting many different nationalities, exporting them from the United States. Now, many of you are upset at foundational black Americans. But remember, you said we didn't make any laws. You said we didn't run anything. You said we didn't control anything. So if that's the case, then your beef is not with foundational black Americans. Your beef is with the government, the United States government. And you need to stop bringing that over to our faces and spaces because we don't care. We really don't care. You can look on a lot of social media, or I'm going to use TikTok for example. You can look at TikTok, and a lot of people, immigrants, are online bashing black Americans for what? For what? Because they're not fighting for you. They're not fighting for you because you don't deserve our fight. You know what I'm saying? You don't deserve our fight because when we tried to warn you that white supremacy was not your friend, you didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to listen to it. In fact, what you did was you reprimanded us for informing you that white supremacy was not your friend. Many of you outright were disgusting to us. Many of you were very offensive and upset that we were letting you know, trying to inform you. When they told you when you came over here, stay away from those black Americans, that should have been something that you should have probably got with some black Americans and said, hey, they're telling us to stay away from you. Now why would they be doing that? Because let me tell you something. When you play two against the middle, you can accomplish a lot. Divided, we fall. United, we stand. See, at one time, black Americans would have stood with the immigrants and you would have had more protection. you would have had much more, because there's over 50 million black Americans, and there may be more, because we know that these people, when their mouths are moving, that they're lying. So there may be more. But that would have been a force to be reckoned with, of us standing together with you. But the reason that we're not doing it is because of all of the disdain and nastiness that many of you have demonstrated and continue to demonstrate out here in these streets. That's why we can't support you. Look, honestly, I live in a community where it is a lot of black immigrants. Some are cool, some are not so cool. But I prefer to stay to myself. I mean, and I'm just saying, I'm repaying the favor, because many of you, like you said, when you came here, the white man told you to stay away from foundational black Americans. Well, the white man didn't have to tell me to stay away from many of the brown and black immigrants, because the nastiness and the disdain made it easy to do. So we just keep to ourselves, and like if there are, there's also a lot of foundational black Americans in my community, and we just collab and love on each other, because unfortunately that's just the way it is now, and that's the way it will remain. You see, you can't mistreat people. You come to their home, and then you step on them and mistreat them. They ask you to take your shoes off before you get in the door, and you say, hell no, I'm not taking off my shoes. And then you trip all through their carpet with your nasty shoes that you've been out in the street with. And then after you've treated them that way, then you want people to come and gather around you with love and support. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. See, fortunately, the people that we used to be, we're not anymore. See, we used to allow a lot of bullshit. I'm just going to say it like that. We did. We allowed a lot of bullshit from a lot of different communities, in which we're not doing that anymore. And really, I think a lot of people are just caught off guard, because you didn't suspect that that was going to happen. But fortunately, it has. I am so proud of our younger generation, and even the older, like my age and up, who are standing on business about this immigration. To be honest with you, I remember a year ago, people coming out with proof, people that own stores. Some of them were probably immigrants or first and second generation, and were saying how they were giving illegal migrants $14,000 in food stamps. Who needs that kind of money? The Democrats made it possible that immigrants were giving an open check, where they just were getting all kind of shit. And it made no sense. I'm not against anybody, but I'm for foundational black Americans, because our ancestors built this country. Our ancestors made this country an operable, country where that's thriving, and people are coming here and they want to thrive. Our ancestors had a lot to do with that, and a lot was taken. Let me tell you something. I love to travel, but before I go anywhere to anybody's country, I always try to do my research. I look into the people, the history. I look into, if anything occurred with the indigenous people. I look into who's running the country. What are some of the laws that may pertain to me as a immigrant going there? I look at all of those things so that when I get there, I have a solid foundation. I know what is going on in the country, for the most part. And, I've tried to learn some of the, important things that I would need to know coming into a country that I'm not from. Many of you didn't do that. Excuse me. Many of you got on a plane or a boat or whatever you did and came over here, and I believe what it was that the only thing that you figured was that black Americans were at the bottom so we can step on them. That makes them prime game to just walk over them. That's what you thought. Because if you didn't think that, that's exactly what you came over here and did. And so now foundational black Americans are saying, okay, you know what? We're not going to be nice anymore to you either. Now you're put on that scope with white supremacists. And that's where you'll stay. Because there's no going back at all. And many foundational black Americans are even to the point we are chucking the Democrats. Now, I know some of you don't agree with that. I'm talking about some foundational black Americans don't agree with it. But I don't agree with either the red or the blue. What are they doing for our people? Until somebody shows me I'm going to vote independent or or other things. But I'm going to use my opportunity to vote to request something. Unfortunately, we are at a crossroads. And at the left is our salvation, and at the right is yours. And so we have an opportunity and a choice to determine that we want to survive. We want to, thrive, and we want to galvanize ourselves to worry about ourselves. We're no longer going to worry and protest and fight for other groups in this country. It's not happening anymore. And it is what it is. And I'm very glad it's that way. I do not agree with the Republicans, except on their immigration policies. I wholeheartedly agree with it. And some of you immigrants will say, well, they're only attacking the black immigrants. Well, what you want us to do? Remember, you said we have no power. We don't run anything. And those of you that are online making videos about black Americans, yet they are exporting your ass up out of here. Seems to me like you should be online making videos to the Trump administration. But, it is what it is. And you live by the sword and you perish by the sword. And there's nothing we can do for you. Nothing at all. We've tried. And so now we're going to focus on ourselves. And we're going to love ourselves. And we do. We really do. As I said, I remember being a young person. And in the 70s and 80s. And coming in contact, I remember in the 80s in particular, coming in contact with some immigrants and how they didn't even want to, black immigrants, let me say, they didn't even want to acknowledge us. And I used to wonder, like, but now I know. It's a jealousy. It has to be. Because why else would you be hostile to people that have never done anything to you? My mother used to tell us there's only two reasons that people can hate you. One, that you did something to them. Or two, if you've never done anything to them, it's because they're jealous of who you are. So since we've never come over to your countries and stole your resources, we've never come over to your countries and raped your women, we've never come over to your countries and taken out your presidents, I can only surmise that it is that jealousy thing. And that's a shame. All right, brothers and sisters, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you all are well. Be blessed. Peace, love, and blessings to you. And Black Power. Take care, family. Bye-bye.